Friday.
I am intermittent Faz today. I will be in and out. Haha. See what I did there?
That's what she said.
Today. So I'm broadcasting live from my car because I'm currently not exactly homeless, but houseless at the moment. But yes, I'll be in and out. So call me intermittent Faz. I forgot to change my little byline, and I don't think I can from here. So.
Well, you can. I think
we have some neat stuff.
We have good stuff tonight, and thank you, Mr. Moldy, for your comments and your thumbs up. So many people in this community, even the ones who don't agree. I love a good debate. So everyone that we've been talking to over the last week and going back and forth with, I love it. I love it. This is what it's all about: is talking about things and sharing opinions and getting everybody on the right page. We're going to correct a lot of things. We have epic community members over at CFA. Ed is posted that video that's been shared about 30 times already all over the place that gives people an eye-opening experience. He had contacted me about
what video is this?
You didn't see the video Ed made explaining it? Where
apparently not.
Oh, come on, man. Get with the program over here. You're supposed to be catching up on this. Well, he took a clip of where I was talking about why a no vote would be a good vote last week with CryptoView. And he did some awesome chalkboard work and broke down like what the distribution is. And I want to hit on that distribution, those key points of those distribution, because I think a lot of people are misinformed as to what's about to happen to them. But I wanted to lead this conversation with something very important. And you probably already know this, Faz, because you've talked about it. But what we're seeing right now with this vote that's up, the V2, is something that Benefactor has wanted for over 2 years.
Okay, wait,
exact scenario.
You need to introduce your topics. You're talking about Gala Games has a node vote, right? And what's this node vote about, sir?
It's about, I got to keep my personal bias out of it. It's about what's going to happen within the node ecosystem with the distribution of nodes as well as tokenomics and what takes place over the next 9 to 12 months. Regarding
so they want to change how the nodes operate. Gala Games in particular wants to change how the nodes operate, and they want to get everybody's rubber stamp. I mean, want to get everybody's sign off on them changing plans, right?
Yes, they're on version 2. Version 1 didn't go so well. The community talked them into a version.
You mean the Gala
version
coin
2?
Version 2, not node version 2.
No, this is
Gala
version
coin.
2 of the proposal. Is what we're on.
Oh, of the proposal. Okay. There's
yes.
a version. There's a third draft coming out. They're not versions. They're drafts. The
they
vote
call
actually hasn't happened yet.
They call it V1 and V2. That means version.
They're drafts.
Whatever.
Let's say unleash your reality. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gala Games wants to change how their nodes go. Before, they've just been giving out money based upon this algorithm, kind of like Bitcoin does. However, they want to change it now to where, what I understand, one or two of the key points is they want to make it so that the very act of collecting this Gala that you're giving and taking it out of your wallet is going to penalize you, and you will get less because you have done so. I would think that they're wanting to so strongly encourage you to hodl it that they're forcing you to hodl it. And I'm kind of wondering why they would even want to do this. Are there good reasons?
Well, Eric, who is Benefactor and one of the founders, he's the CEO now, but he's one of the founders. And depending on what you read, there was either 2 or 3 founders. And that has been back and forth in whatever article you happen to be reading. But it's Eric Schiermeyer. It is a gentleman by the name of Wright Thurston. And the third, which is in some publications but not in others, is Mike McCarthy, Miranda's master himself. So...
And Mike McCarthy, Miranda's master,
right.
See how that works.
Very good. From very, very early on, Eric has wanted this exact scenario that you're seeing in V2, where you have penalties for minting on the Gala node, okay? There have been previous discussions about it, but they really didn't go anywhere past discussions. So let me pull up a Discord message from the past. This was from August 2nd, 2020. Okay?
Can you
Benefactor. No, I don't think so. I don't know how to do that on here. Hey guys, we've been thinking about the next set of modifications for the distribution. One of the most powerful concepts is we want to promote and reward hodling of Gala and discourage selling. To that end, we've considered adding a multiplier to your daily points based on the amount of time and Gala you've held in your Gala wallet. Let's say, for example, not the final decision. Yes. If you have 1,000 Gala, your multiplier goes up 0.001 every day. If you have 10,000 Gala, it goes up 0.01 per day and max out at 10x points. So you've earned 1 point for the distribution, it would get bumped to 10. And he further goes on. Now on the discouraging the selling of Gala, my preference is to strongly discourage the cash out. Using your Gala inside the network is great and should be rewarded. It helps build a lively ecosystem. But if you move your Gala to another wallet, I'm considering adding negative 100 persistent points to your own digital ledger per Gala sold. So if you move 1,000 Gala to a wallet at an exchange, it would create a 100,000 negative point balance. Then you would need to spend time working that off in order to earn more Gala in the future. This would not apply to items. So back then, he wanted you to be able to use them to buy NFTs, right? And he says, take those to OpenSea or wherever and sell them all you want. So back in August of 2020, this was first being discussed. And this is almost identical to what is being proposed today. And so this isn't a new concept at all. This has been, it was brought up. I have more screenshots from 21 and 22 where they tried to bring this up again. They've been wanting to do this for a very, very long time. So those of you who said, hey, surprise, it's not so much of a surprise. For a lot of us, we've known this has been going on, right? So knowing that, Faz, does it surprise you what you see in this version?
You mean based upon the thing that you just told me? Does it surprise me that I see it here? Does
it surprise you that it actually is making it to a node vote now? Maybe I should have phrased it that way. It's always just been talked before, and everybody's kind of shot him down.
I guess the question is, if everybody has always shot him down, then I guess it would surprise me that he keeps bringing it up. If that's what if that's what you're looking for. It sounds like to me that Gala Games has an outsized ability to affect not only the ecosystem, but the especially by doing this, the token price. Because if they're going to encourage people that if they're, I think he really is shooting for people can have one-time cash outs. Like, I don't know, say you did one of their contests and you earned 100,000 Gala with a contest. Maybe you got first place in the leaderboard. And then you cashed it out. Well, if that puts a negative $100,000 Gala balance on your balance sheet, then then you're going to have to play the game until you get it all back. So did you really get a reward for that leaderboard? No, it's very arbitrary, and what they're really doing is rewarding holding and discouraging selling. There's nothing wrong with holding. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with selling. I think he's trying to somehow address the concept that people might want to speculate with the Gala coin. People will speculate with Star Wars action figures.
Oh, you had to do it, didn't you?
Yes, people will speculate with everything. So it seems to me he's trying very hard to specify very specifically how people were to buy, sell, and use Gala. But wait, it's yours. It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. Whatever you want. But he now wants to govern all aspects of buying, selling, and holding. At that point, it's not really mine. It's just that he's just using a blockchain to hold his assets. Not only that, is Gala Games going to be discouraged from selling? Don't think so. Why would they? They need it to pay their developers. I'm going to say the same thing that brings most people to Gala, which is I can earn money and spend it. I can earn Gala and then cash out and spend it to support myself or my village if I live in one of those countries. Not going to be very easy to keep doing that if they penalize everybody for selling the Gala that they earn. Now,
well,
in fact, it's almost like double jeopardy, because if you earn 100,000, great, you got it. You sell it. Now you're 100,000 in the hole. To get 100,000 out of the hole, you need to earn another 100,000. So until then, you're going to be heavily penalized. So you're going to have to bank 100,000 in order to get that money, that next money back.
That's breaking even.
Why not just allow people to just sell it as they make it?
Well, there's a lot of motivation behind this. We can get into the weeds on that. But with this concept that we've seen is carried on over the years. Another thing that is driving me nuts regarding the selling of these tokens is people keep bringing up in the node discussion boards about the other founder, Wright Thurston. And, they keep saying he's dumping. He's not dumping, okay? He's minting, yes. He's minting so that he can put it into his own wallet. And a simple blockchain query on his wallet shows, we looked at it Tuesday, we looked at it Thursday, every single token that he's minted is sitting in his private wallet. I'm guessing probably a hardware wallet, right? The smart thing to do, extract your coins from centralized exchanges and places, put it into your private name. That's all he's been doing. He hasn't sold any of it. So the contention seems to be on the minting side. My argument on this has always been, and you can go back to other Faz radios, my argument on this is minting doesn't mean selling. Okay? I only sell about twice a year, a couple times a year. I will take and I will mint and I will move it to a wallet address, either my hardware wallet or MetaMask. And I want it on the ETH chain. I want it there. Because the danger is, right now they have the treasure chest, which is simply a database. If something goes sideways, somehow it's hacked, or, God forbid, something goes sideways, those tokens aren't on a chain anywhere. They just disappear. We saw that some of the community members on occasion have had accounts locked or frozen. There's no way to access those tokens. Same with exchanges. If you have your tokens on an exchange and there's a problem, your tokens get frozen, they disappear. You have FTX, they're just gone. They end up getting sucked out in bankruptcy. We encourage people to get them off, and you can't if you don't mint. So that's like a really, really big problem. Let me show you this too. This feeds right into that. This is from February of 2021. I can't help it. You're on an iPhone, Faz. I'm sorry. Benefactor. So once we have enough cash in our war chest, we should be able to stop accepting any currency other than Gala. And yeah, that one other factor is how much volume are on exchanges. We'll need to sell that Gala we get. Right now, it's good we get ETH, so we don't have to sell Gala. Okay, sales have been going strong, so they don't have to worry about that. But right here, it talks about that utility for Gala that a lot of us are talking about. There's other screenshots that I have where they say, we want it to only be Gala here. And then that narrative changed. It went, hey, we only want Gala, then we don't want Gala, then we do want Gala, and now we're back to, hey, if it's there, it's there. That creates issues as well. Because right now, even if, let's say everybody hodls, let's just throw that out there. Everybody hodls, they never mint, they never do anything for the next 12 months. And Gala goes and sells to meet their monthly expenses, keeping the lights on, building stuff, doing what they need to do, right? I don't think the token price is going to go up all that much. There still has to be utility. There has to be a reason that someone wants to buy Gala. And right now, I don't personally see a lot of reasons to buy Gala. Well, I can go to the Gala store. I can spend ETH or a credit card.
I think his reasoning literally is he wants to use Gala as a payment token, an ecosystem token. People who speculate are people who are going to speculate. And it might also mean that if he's wanting to do this kind of stuff now, that he's kind of done with the speculation part where everybody has had their fun speculating and now it's time to actually use this thing for the game. So it might be that he's ready to exit Gala in a way and just... I want to know, why is this stuff even available on exchanges? Again, if people are going to be penalized for using it wrong. I don't get this part where you've got to use their currency in the right way. That's all. I mean, I can understand an NFT in if you were to like use it, flip it around to different accounts to kind of cheat to see if you can get around their system. You're using an NFT in a wrong way. But buying and selling, that's none of their fucking business. Quote me. This is none of your fucking business, Gala. We can do with our Gala whatever the fuck we want. But no, you want us to do things a certain way. We need to hold it, and we need to have an honor score with this Gala that we earned for the purposes of you don't want it used for anything besides Gala games. Well, then what do I own? I don't own something for myself. It's like renting a telephone at that point.
Wow, that was poignant.
Hey, put that back. Put that back. I'm trying to read that.
Okay. So, speaking of liquidity on exchanges, we've been told a couple of things over the course of time. And some of those things are, hey, we don't mess with exchanges. If they want to list us, they list us. We don't actively solicit exchanges or anything along those lines, right? So I bumped into it, and I got to find the right one. I got to find that right one. Is this it? No. Can't find that one. So it actually is done by Gala. And I've got to find the right screeny for the... Oh, here it is, right here. All right, let me make this bigger so people can see it. Now let me share that. So for those saying, it's not on Coinbase, it's not on here, what's with the pairs? And we keep hearing, well, that's out of our control. Well, I would question that. I'm not going to demand. I'm going to question it because I did. We had an argument about it before, and I lost my screenshots. And of course, you made fun of me saying you need proof, and I couldn't find it. Well, I found it. Here we go, and share. Whoops, I got to make that smaller. Hang on. I lost it. Where did it go? There it is. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Right here, dead center of the screen. Benefactor, we're going to add an XRP Gala pair to BitTrue next week.
Okay.
At least at that point, they did control. And this was January of 21. They did control what pairs were where with exchanges. And boy, you handed me my butt. I'll take a thank you, and I'm sorry for handing me my butt when
I need to have a little bit more. I need to have a little bit more background of what your actual claim was.
No, we had argued because you had said, well, Gala has no control over that. They might pay a listing fee to an exchange, but they don't control. It's the exchange that decides how that works. I said,
This doesn't tell me.
Well, okay. So my point being is, let's say they restrict our minting, right? If they do control where that token is listed and with what pairs those listings are with, they could also restrict your ability to interact with exchanges to sell.
Okay, you completely ignored what my response to your
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I was trying to make the point when you were talking about restricting the ability to sell and we can do with them what we want. Well, if they remove that liquidity from exchanges, it makes it extremely difficult to even unload at that point. If you wanted to.
Let's back up. Let's back up. I'm not even talking about exchanges, and you're making a specious comment at that. I'm talking about your ability to use it. They can, if they can control your ability to use it, I mean, what is it even yours? But now when he's saying we're going to be adding a pair to BitTrue next week, first of all, that didn't happen until like September, because that's when I got in when they added it to BitTrue. And my understanding is the way that things get added to exchanges is you talk to them, they're interested in the coin, they want information about the coin, then apparently they must have told them when they were going to list the Gala coin, and then so that's what that means. However, I get the sense you're reading the message, you're reading it in the way that they're pretty much saying, we will add it to BitTrue. And I think it's obvious that he doesn't own BitTrue. So he can't really say we will add it to BitTrue. Well,
okay, so I think they have to provide liquidity on both sides for that. So
I don't know. We don't know their agreement with BitTrue. BitTrue could have just bought a whole bunch.
Okay, so my point being is that they had insisted before that they don't control what exchanges do with the token. And at least back then it sounds like they do.
Don't. No. It sounds like he's talking smack to tell people that, hey, look what we got. We got this, man. We got that. We got this.
I don't know.
That's what he's saying.
I don't know. You can read that 100 different ways, I guess.
That just says he likes to talk smack. Well, what ultimately happened, is BitTrue wasn't added immediately after March of 2020. It was added in like September or something, because that's when I got into it, was around that time period. So it sounds to me like they had ongoing discussions with BitTrue. BitTrue said that they were going to add it, and it took a few months for that to happen. So for somebody who's supposed to point to the outfield and as to where the home run's going to go, like Mickey Mantle, apparently, like Babe Ruth, apparently that didn't happen.
So
that's what you seem to be implying.
Well, I'm trying to get the point across about the restriction of liquidity. So even if you were able to mint and even if you were able to sell, you can only go certain places. I think somebody was telling us not too long ago that KuCoin also went and made some rules so it makes it more difficult for U.S. people even to be on that exchange. And I know KuCoin was a big Gala place for exchanging as well. So the reduction of that liquidity, Coinbase hasn't signed up for V2, at least that I've heard. Binance,
Gemini has it.
Yeah, Gemini has it. The Binance, somebody posted the other day that Binance was making some changes, but we could browbeat this forever. Let's keep moving. So the liquidity could be strangled at several points along the way. I don't think minting is where, if they're going to put restrictions on it, that's probably not the smartest place to put it, is at the minting.
Well,
I don't believe in restrictions at all, though.
I think they're trying to say that we control our ecosystem, but not the coin. And in one technical way, you don't. But, I mean, if you're the only place in town that the coin can be used, you're an effective monopoly for this coin, no matter how it's out there. Plus, they issue the goddamn coin. So...
No, the nodes do. Remember, we're arguing exactly opposite as we used to argue.
Good. The nodes that they sell issue the coin. There's only one place for it to go, or to be used. It's not like it's even intended to be used anywhere else besides the Gala website. You know, one might think, boy, if Steam could use the Gala coin, that would be awesome. But no, that's not even intended for what's supposed to happen.
So let's talk about the nodes for a moment. Okay, that's kind of what this is mostly about.
An upcoming node vote?
Right? So you don't, when we say node owner, that's kind of inaccurate. You don't own a node. You own a license for a node.
Do you own Windows? Do you own your copy of Windows?
Right. It is a license is all it is. And by making that an NFT, you will then have possession of that license. So you don't own the software, you don't own the IP, you don't own the ability to do anything with it except hold a license. That means you can get rewards if they're issued. That gives you the license to receive rewards and participate in voting. That is what that license grants you. It's not like you have the software available. Anybody can run a node. Even if you don't have a license, you can download the software, you can run the node and contribute to the ecosystem. The license that you paid for is the ability to earn rewards from that node and to, at the same time, give you the votes in the governance system. So defining what that node is the first step in this. And then when you take it to the second step, what does the node do? What is your understanding of what the node does?
Well, my understanding of the intention of the node, and it depends on which node you're talking about now, founder's node or a game node. The founder's node was going to be running games and minting coins. Apparently now the founder's nodes is more about minting coins and apparently, potentially, ostensibly, hosting the Geary blockchain in some way, doing some blockchain maintenance, doing blockchain tasks, recording transactions. That's what I understand a founder's node to be. A game node is, to my understanding, is to actually run the game. Running either of these nodes with a license you're going to get rewards for it. They're going to say, thank you for providing your CPU power. Here's some money.
It started out as everything's going to run on the nodes, right? All the games are going to run on these nodes. That's why we have 50,000
They needed to scale up their operations because it became obvious that things could get bigger.
That's a lot of nodes. That's a lot of computing power. You can see it right on your node dashboard.
So, how many nodes? How many node equivalents does Amazon Web Services have? AWS. So I'm thinking that they want to be some sort of AWS kind of situation to where they can run storage and they can run CPU power, and well, they can kind of be managing it all, but you're the one with that's hosting the storage and the CPU power.
Right. Which leads to something very interesting that I read. One of the people that's smarter than me made a comment, and I don't remember who. I'm sorry, I can't attribute it directly, but you know who you are. What happens when that node is spun up? You're running what? You spin up your node. What are you running?
Founders node or a game node?
Yeah, Founders node.
You're running something that takes advantage of your CPU power to do tasks.
So the software for that node is probably on an Amazon server. And if that Amazon server goes down, what happens to the node network?
So it may be an Amazon server. It may wait a minute. Sorry, you're mixing some motifs here. The node itself is intended to be where things would be run and where things would be done. I say intended to be because right now when they're starting, they're kind of using this kind of duct tape system to where AWS is really running things. So I want to make that clear between now and later. Now it might be later that AWS does some management of multiple nodes, of management of maybe how they interact. I don't know enough information about that, but I suspect you're driving to a point here that somehow AWS is doing exactly what the node would be doing. Is that what you're getting at?
What I'm saying is that a node is intended to be self-encapsulated, right? If something happens to AWS, the nodes should be able to communicate and keep the network running. That's not the case.
I don't have enough information. I don't have enough information about their intended design to tell you the answer to that question. And if you have it, please provide it.
Well, when you think about it, because you just have this license, you don't have the ability. If Amazon goes down, I don't know if they're using Amazon per se. We're just assuming they use Amazon, right? If Amazon goes down,
thank you for
your node. Yeah, your node can't connect to anything. Your node will just be down. So how is that a decentralized ecosystem if it's reliant on Amazon for the node network to work?
Okay. You're falling into a fallacy called argument from ignorance, and there's not enough information available right now that I'm aware of to where you can make that argument. They're still in the beginning phases of laying this stuff out. None of this stuff is live, except for, I think, for maybe that last expedition node, which I think does run on machines. But even then, I bet some management things happen on other servers. But you're asking why not, but you're not providing enough detail to give an informed response. We don't know. We don't know what the fuck they're doing right now. We know that they're just pinging each other right now. They're not even, your CPU power is not being used. So maybe for the music nodes, maybe, but again, all this stuff is just starting out. So whatever you're coming up with is gonna change. Do you know enough information to make any sort of accusations here?
I'm not making an accusation. I'm talking about how their node network is set up right now. So
it's not
maybe
set up in its final way. It's
okay.
It's in a duct tape and baling wire stage.
Okay, right. So my point is that it's not a decentralized network at this point. It even if it was running workloads, even if it was running full workloads, and it was taking up a lot of the resources on your computer. Okay.
That's where you don't have enough information to make that statement. We don't know. We don't know what's going on with that stuff. There are some technical people that know something which they've loudly proclaimed that the nodes aren't doing anything right now, but Gala Games hasn't come out and said that nodes are actually running games, with the exception of the last Expedition game, and that's occasionally.
Right. It's good
to assume that it's not ready for prime time yet.
some of the
So
really
it's
smart
basically-
people who
so
do
basically
that.
it's a test system right now that is centralized. There, you happy?
No, I'm not trying to push that, but I want people to understand what it is before we get into the deeper parts of this. I want people to understand what it is they have. We've defined they have a node license. We defined the network and what it is in its current state.
License for a node ecosystem that doesn't exist yet. You can
right.
run it and they connect to each other and they act like they're working, but nothing's really happening yet.
We'd
It's
hope
like
there would be.
You have a vehicle you have a car without an engine, okay? You can get in the thing, you can roll it around and yell yabba dabba doo like Fred Flintstone, but the thing is it's going to move on its own.
So now let's take it a step further before we get into some of this other stuff. So they say now, okay, we've changed the plan, and the founders nodes are going to be the backbone of Gala chain. Okay? So you would assume at that point that it would be like that full node network at that point, where you don't need Amazon Web Services. These nodes would be talking to each other and carrying the load, and if 10 nodes went down,
we don't know yet.
The rest would balance. Okay.
Do you have enough
in
information
theory,
to make that accusation?
In theory, this is what when you say that it's going to be the backbone of an L1 chain. No, they've said that. They said it's going to be the backbone of an L1 chain.
You just said that they said that. Let's stay with who's making the assertions here.
So I'm hoping that at that point we're not going to need Amazon Web Services anymore. Otherwise, that kind of defeats the purpose.
To speculate there, because I don't know what they're even using Amazon.
I'm not asking you to speculate.
How do you know that they're not using Microsoft Azure? Why are you saying that they're using AWS? Is this something that they
We're
published
guessing.
somewhere?
We're guessing.
Okay,
they're using some.
guessing.
There is a server somewhere feeding these things.
So not only are you guessing, but you're building upon your guesses and acting and asking questions like, why are they still using AWS when you don't know that they're using it to begin with? The whole point I'm getting at is you're just talking out your ass, and it's not ready for prime time yet. So these questions can't be even asked until after shit starts running. It's not
because
a functioning system right now.
Exactly. And they keep saying they want to make this. My whole point driving through this node discussion, Faz, is they keep saying they want to make it more decentralized. That is their buzzword on this. And I'm going down this road trying to show you that even if we go through all of these things, there is nothing decentralized. You can't make something more decentralized that isn't decentralized to begin with.
It's not ready yet. If you're always talking about the future state or the future plans, then they're talking about in the future when things get set up, where this will be more decentralized. Yes, this is another step along making things more decentralized, but it sounds like, well, I think let's back up and say, I think you want to get into talking about the node vote, but we really haven't talked a lot about that. Yes, I'd
we're
like
getting
to hear
there.
What they think. I'd like to hear what they're saying is more decentralized before I start giving them shit about not making things more decentralized.
So now, all right, I won't keep browbeating this. I was trying to get through that a little quicker, and then you kept throwing your 2 cents in. But I wanted to take people through the node piece for the ultimate end on that of. We have nothing decentralized, so it can't become more decentralized when it isn't. So, here we go. Fiery water. Let's kick into this part. Fiery water. I'm totally against founders' nodes not being able to mint freely. Wright and Eric having 7,000 nodes is a problem, but that doesn't mean small founders node operators should pay the penalty for it. Okay. I've dropped this almost exact same thing into the node discussion as well. Okay, they made their decisions, and they did what they did, and so be it, right? They have to bear that burden now. They should not be putting that monkey on the backs of the community for the decisions that they made to be able to allocate those each 7,000s and the ability for the community to buy 300, 400, 500 nodes in blocks. They did that. That's their responsibility to bear the burden on, is my opinion. Do you share that opinion?
One more time. Sorry, that was a bit of a ramble. Can you?
I'm trying to make it shorter. So, Gala made the decision to grant Eric and Wright both 7,000 nodes, and Gala made the decision. Right? Fine. There's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, they're founders. They can do whatever they want. They also allowed, with the node sales, for people to buy multiple nodes, whether it be 5, 10, 20, 500. Okay. So you're in that terrible number. 3 is the terrible number in this. Did you see that? I meant to tell you that. I forgot. No. So they made those decisions and people bought those nodes. Now they're circling back and they're saying, listen, because this happened and because so many people are hoarding these nodes, we're going to take and put a blanket over the whole community so that nobody can mint their tokens because we have to fix this. It's wrong that these people have these nodes. Do you think that we should bear that burden, or do you think that they should hold themselves accountable for allowing that to happen in the first place?
That's a weird way to put the question. It sounds like you're formulating this question as if we're being punished
for their decisions. They made those decisions, right? And now they're saying, okay, it was a bad decision. And Brink even said at one point, yeah, we made these decisions. They were bad decisions. We need to move forward. But everybody in the ecosystem, every node holder, is now facing these restrictions because of that decision. So do you agree that that's the best way to do this? Is what I'm asking.
Oh, I think there's a lot of different ways to do this. I've suggested some. I've weighed in on some. I think that's an a really big conversation to have here. How much are you getting paid to show Gala we want to do? Goose egg. I've never been paid 1 cent by Gala. I've asked a couple times, but no, I've never been paid anything.
He didn't know he could ask for $240,000 like some other people.
Yeah,
did.
had I known, oh my God, I should have just named myself Jake and asked for $240,000 because that must have been what happened before.
So no, BG.
Actually, no, I didn't really ask, other than just asking like a smartass. I mean, it would have been nice for to be able to show Gala, but then I'd have to put something up on the screen, just like we did with Nerd Node. Remember Nerd Node?
I do.
We would put something on the screen and we'd say, okay, now a time for our sponsor, and then we would start talking about Gala games. That's how I would be shilling Gala if they saw fit to give me money.
So I do want to pause for 1 second because we were sponsored by NerdNode for a long time. We disclosed that on everyone with our little banners. But I want to give them a free shout out today. And here's why. I know Nate, you know Nate, and whether or not this vote passes, yes or no,
Wait, Nate has a lot of nodes too, just like Wright and Eric. Just saying.
All right, listen. I would guess, because they're really smart people, I'm guessing they're going to solve the problem of this splitting of nodes if that has to come into play. If you're gonna have the opportunity to solve a problem, keep them in mind. I guarantee the people they have working for them will find a solution. So I will plug them for that because they're smart as hell over there.
Why don't you say?
No, it wasn't a weird shill. You reminded me of Nerd Note. Those guys work 24/7. I haven't been able to do the other podcast with Nate because they've been working on Nerd Node. So I guarantee they're working on this.
Why don't you just say that Nerd Node runs nodes for you? You give them a little bit of the money, a little bit of the Gala that you might earn, so that they can run your node for you, because your computer might not always be up all the time.
Oh my God. You're doing a full commercial.
Node Viagra.
Send them an invoice for a full commercial. I was just saying, those guys work like 24/7. I haven't been able to do my other podcast with Nate because of that.
Anyway, no, I'm not a shill for Gala. I'm a shill for common sense, and I usually like to translate what developers do, software developers do, for the rest of the world, and people don't seem to understand what it takes for software development. That frequently makes me look like I'm shilling for Gala, but I'm just shilling for that's just how any company works that does software development. Whatever the case is, yes, I do agree with Demology. We are being punished. However, I want to make sure that we phrase these questions right and actually have intelligent ways of asking them rather than just dogpiling on them. I think it should be clear what we're not getting out of it. Why the fuck do I want to run a node for, I don't know, a day and get a reward and then get punished for getting that reward? That makes no sense. I should be able to pull that reward out at any time and keep it because I've already provided the work, which is the CPU power. They got the work, right? So what's the problem?
They did.
Why do they need to then punish me again for getting? It's kind of like, I don't know, buying a ticket at an airport and then having a ticket issuing cost or something like that.
It's like California. Yeah, they don't sell. Galafan's absolutely right. Neither one of them have been selling. And here's an interesting thing. What do you think's going to happen between month 9 and month 12 when people start minting like crazy? Because they're going to be at the end of this 1-year trial that they keep talking about to try this new system.
What are you talking about?
So,
okay. Well, first of all, there's going to be a lot of minting right now because this thing may pass, and everybody who has anything in their wallet is going to take everything out right now, and then the price is going to go up because people aren't going to be minting. But I mean, if you're not an idiot, you're going to mint right now, put it all in another wallet until the time comes, and then sell that stuff during this trial.
Yeah, he's transferring to cold storage. I talked about that a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Who wouldn't? In fact, I did that. Honestly, when I had a fair amount of Gala, I transferred it all to cold storage, and I put as little as I could in my Gala account because I didn't want my Gala account to get hacked. So if I had 7,000 nodes and I get all that stuff, fuck yeah, I'd be transferring it all to cold storage. If they're trying to stop a big node holder like Wright Thurston from getting all that stuff and transferring it to cold storage, I think that this is the wrong way because they're punishing everybody else to somehow punish him. Are they punishing Wright Thurston for doing this? That's what I'm hearing coming from everybody. Proxy.
John's got this 100%, right? They should have company nodes. That was what Jesse had suggested, actually, in his open letter, is one of the options that could be viable. And John makes a really good point here, too. Can't wrap my head around how we can allow a centralized company to lay down the rules while they get to operate above them.
Yeah, they've got to dog food their own product, period. So I don't care how good the rest of the proposal is, the very fact that they are not going to be following these rules makes no sense. I mean, if they want it to be decentralized eventually and someday, aren't they going to need to demonstrate that this ecosystem actually works? But until then, they're just going to be penalizing everybody else? I mean, maybe they'll be part of the actual system like much later, but I mean, I'm trying to throw them a bone here and say, okay, you do need to pay your developers, but apparently you're not paying them in a sustainable way. If every bit of node minting that you're getting, you're cashing out. I can understand if it's from the store, but now they're saying that all the money that they get from the store, all the Gala they get from the store, they're just going to burn, which is weird. I think they'd want to keep all the stuff that comes from the store and then just burn everything they mint. That way they can at least feel better about saying, well, see, we don't get anything, and that's why we're punishing you because we're punished even more.
Now, look, I made this argument in the node discussion room as well. I think Gala should be able to sell their tokens, absolutely. I'm not saying they should be restricted either. I don't want restrictions anywhere. They do have to keep the lights on. I get that. They should be able to sell Gala. Now, the ability for everybody to be selling Gala should be the right way. I don't want to penalize Gala and have to take a penalty myself. I just want it to be left alone. Okay? I'm going to make this announcement right here. We're coming up close to an hour. Fairly soon, in the next 10 or 15 minutes, I want to open it up for people who want to join us live on the cast with your audio and your video. We'd hope you'd share video, but you don't have to. I'll send you,
because I'm going to be leaving because I can't.
I will send you a special link to where you can, like Faz, he's on his iPhone, right? You can click the link and jump right in. If you have something to say you want to talk about, I'm not restricting this, okay, to just people who are on one side or the other. If you have a great argument for yes, you're welcome on the show as well. If you have a great argument for no, you can do the same thing.
Hold on. So I'm hearing a lot of people offer some very good opinions on the Gala Discord, and even on here that you keep popping this stuff up. I want to hear some of what these people are saying. And I want Gala Games to hear what these people are saying. I want them to realize that what they're asking for, nobody wants. And maybe they're phrasing it, or they think they're phrasing it in a way that people likes, but I want to hear somebody who actually likes this. I think I talked to a guy named Swiss on the Gala Discord today who actually appeared to like this node plan. I'd love it if he could get on here.
So I do want to hit this because I have a screenshot for it. Maverick. Okay, Gala runs the show, and we get to pretend to vote from time to time. We had a vote. There was the bonus pool, and they decided to ignore it. Okay? They waited a year, and then they changed it. And I wanted to bring up a screenshot that talks about that. Let me see if it's this one.
That's right, because
it is.
The argument was these votes aren't very binding. These are just suggestions.
Yep. And here, let me show you this. I am having all kinds of trouble with this mouse today. I apologize. It's taking me forever to get these screenshots up. I have to make it smaller first, and then I can make it bigger. Okay. Present.
Hey, put a link in the Faz Premium channel, sir.
For what?
For coming on the show.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hang on. Let me show this first.
Okay.
And, oh, damn it, there is not an actual date on this one. It was a while ago, though. Bitbender. It would be a pretty shitty governance vote if we said, nah, we don't like this, let's do a different thing. The long-term goal is to have actual structure of the votes be handled in a totally decentralized fashion. Right now, we have to put them out there because we're not at that point yet. But yes, we will abide by the node votes. Be a pretty shitty governance vote. Too. Yeah, let's hope.
You can look that up on the Discord.
I hope so, yeah, by using those phrases.
Well, now that we've put it here, other people can look it up and tell us.
Yeah, what date it was or whatever, if someone has the gumption to do that.
And the point was you were getting at that they had actually asked our opinion on something. We said no, and then they went and did it anyway.
They've done that before, too, yeah. Shooty Booms! I will never forget that. When I was playing Town Star, I would name all of my towns Shooty Booms. Just to throw it back in their face.
The Shooty Booms thing, they never said that they would abide by that. They just wanted suggestions, people. Okay.
But listen, when it went to
a node vote.
It was. And it went, and as soon as people.
Shooty Booms was not a node vote. It was
yes,
not a node vote.
They did, and then they took it. No, they did. Listen to me. Quit cutting me off and listen. It went to a node vote. It went on as Shooty Booms. They then removed the node vote and put it onto a spreadsheet because that way they can control it. And they didn't want Shooty Booms on there. So it started on the nodes and moved to a spreadsheet.
It could be on the node vote history. It might be on the history of the node vote. Which
it might.
You're right.
Yeah, that would. No, it was. We voted for Shooty Booms.
Why would he
Bitbender said okay, this is fantastic right here. Fiery Water. You're fire tonight with your comments, Fiery Water.
Fiery Water should come on the show. Tonight.
Yeah.
Now.
Why?
Do
Okay. He said it wouldn't work.
Now.
Why? Show me the math. You showed me math, Mr. Bitbender. You showed me math on 15 logarithmic ways that you want this new one to work. You haven't shown us anything as to why it won't work. That vote that passed. This one, this comment. Bitbender has said the node wouldn't work. The old vote wouldn't work. Oh, that's not going to work. No, yeah. We're moving on. Okay. Bitbender did math and spreadsheets and everything else and created a little calculator for the new one, but he never showed us why the bonus pool wouldn't work. He just dismissed it. That's a good point, Fiery Water. All right, so I am going to put the link for joining us on the stream in our premium channel on CryptoFaz. So let me copy this. And then I will open it to the public when you leave, because they don't want to be on here with you. They want to be on here with me.
You're the man. Until I get less busy.
I'm kidding.
You are it.
I know.
And
I miss
some good guests lately.
I do miss you, Faz, even though I give you so much shit. I enjoy that. Okay, so paste. Okay, so if anybody from our premium group wants to join us live, and if CryptoView joins, he's not allowed to talk about XRP. We're talking about Gala tonight.
No, I'd like to hear from that guy Swiss on the Discord and some of the people who've been commenting here, because they obviously know a lot more than I do. And we're just idiots talking. Yes, it was a vote. Shooty Booms is so much better. Spider Tanks doesn't even make sense. There are 0 spiders in the game.
Right?
Well, I can't argue that against that.
Let me make another. Where did it go? Okay, that was
at that. They're not even 8-legged.
That was all I had as far as relevant screenshots. If we go off the rails, I got more. But I mean, really, guys, I want to go through this because this was pointed out in Ed's video. Ed posted that awesome video the other day that kind of went mini viral there. Here's what I think a lot of people don't understand, and I noticed in the comments people were doing this, right? So with this governance proposal, you always get 1 point for your node, okay? Always. And then as long as you don't mint, you get additional points, which is worth stacking more Gala. Everybody's with me on that, right? The interpretation of that, I think, is a little skewed. Because as he pointed out in that video, a lot of people aren't realizing this. Right now, we're getting 450 points for that node point that we get, right? For every node point that you run, you get 450 Gala a day at this point. If that node vote passes, your, quote, guaranteed 450-ish Gala goes away. I think people are banking on and they're putting in their head that, hey, no matter what, I got my 1 point. I get my 450 Gala per day. Even if I sell off all these bonus points and everything else, I'm still getting my 450 for my 1 point.
If you sell it out, if you sell off all of your stuff, you get these negative points, which means you think that you can earn them all back, but you're saying you're going to earn them back even slower, too.
No, I haven't gotten that far yet. I want people to understand. Sorry. I want people to understand that it takes the value out of that original bonus point, or not bonus point, the original point you get for owning a node. You don't get that solid stack of 450 and then just lose all your bonus points. You sell it all. You start back with 1 point and 450 Gala a day. That's not how it works. That is incorporated in with the rest of the points. So your 1 point might only be worth 100 Gala at that point because there's so many points in the system. They've granted us Bitbender's been in that chat saying, we burned 21 billion Gala for you so that you could get this extra distro. That's where this comes from. They're going to wipe that out. They're going to take that away from you in this vote, because that one solid point that you have will not be worth that same amount after this is implemented. Everything is equal. Points equal total distribution divided by number of points in the system, period, including that one point.
Is there, Mr. Titan, is there a link that you can provide for this at some point where they can read this information? Is it on the Medium, the Gala Games Medium?
Yes, it's on the Medium, and it's also in that calculator that they provided on the Medium. So a lot of people are under that misconception. I wanted to clear that up right away.
It might help to provide that at some point. So that people can see how much they're being screwed. I think I just like to make it even simpler, which is being punished for minting Gala at all, to me, doesn't serve any more purpose other than to pump the price of Gala. And if you have Gala outside of your Gala wallet, yeah, you could sell it. I have a bunch of Gala outside my Gala wallet. Not going to hurt me. It's going to hurt everybody who's going to earn the Gala.
And like I said, I think that's flawed, because I don't think the token price is going to go up. There's no use for it. Nobody needs to buy it. If it goes up because people are buying it, the people who are going to be buying it outside, like you were just saying, you and I go out and buy a bunch of Gala because we think it's going to go up. That's what's going to make it go up. And then Gala's going to sell it right back down when they sell their distribution.
It sounds like for that idea to wait a minute. It sounds like for that idea to work, then they have to price everything in Gala. Are they pricing everything in Gala, or are they pricing it in?
I can go. There's no need for Gala. You can buy an ETH and credit card, and they prefer it that way because Brink got in there and he said it actually hurts us if people pay in the store in Gala because it's burnt. There is no.
Then I have no idea.
There's no reason to have it. None. They've given us no reason. And here's the other thing. Even if people are saying a lot in the Discord, in the Node channel, well, just let us mint to the store. Let us mint that so we can buy stuff with it at least. Well, it's because you want to extract it, take your new NFT to OpenSea. There's no games out to use those NFTs in, so they're not going to go up in price. You're not going to make your money by doing it that way. And then you're going to be sitting on an NFT that you can't even use in game. The Walking Dead Empires is doing a playtest right now, and they didn't include NFTs in the playtest. So you can't even play with the NFT, let alone earn with it. So again, there's no use to be able to spend it in the store even. You can't
I feel like we need to get Bitbender on here again to explain things for the Node vote before the Node vote goes live. By the way, he has one more draft that he's going to put out. So I don't know. I'd love it if we could talk to him again. Maybe I'll send him something, and maybe sometimes he answers my DMs.
Yeah.
On that note, I think I'll DM him right after I leave, which is going to be just in a minute here because I need to take care of some stuff and things. You are going to be inviting people on that can talk while I'm gone. You can say bad things about me, like why am I leaving? But I definitely want to hear more about what other people know about this because I don't know everything. Titan here doesn't know everything. We just kind of know what's being said around the water cooler. That's what this show is. We're saying what's around the water cooler. We need more information.
There's so many smart people in here, and you can argue both sides of this. And there's one, I think his name is Luis. He's been posting quite a bit in the Gala Node room, and he is drawing the ear of some though, because he's saying, "Oh well, if you vote yes, you're voting for Gala to stay in business, and no, if they're going to sink or whatever." It's not like that. There's no hype. There's no FOMO around that.
There are other ways for Gala to stay in business other than penalizing people for minting what's their rightful payment, what the rightful reward is. That's my 2 cents. I want to hear some positive reasons why this is a good thing, other than it's lowering liquidity, thus making Gala more rare. Anyway, I have to get going. So Titan, please bring some people on. Put the link out for everyone else to see.
Yep,
now.
I'm going to put the link out for everybody. What I will say is I'm gonna say something that'll trigger a lot of people, and this is only meant so that you understand. Oh, you're going? Go ahead. If you want to go. I'm going to talk anyway.
Well, you're gonna take like 5 minutes to say this trigger statement. I want to be triggered before I leave. So.
I'll say my trigger statement. So, because the community is going to have, if this passes. Let's say it passes, and we have our mint locked up. And let's say Gala survives. They're going to be able to sell freely. They make their money, but we are probably not going to be buying anything from them with our own money. Okay, that isn't going to help them. Because I don't know about you, but I'm broke. Okay? I'm not going to be putting new money in. I'm not going to be spending on a credit card. No, here's the trigger statement. There's also a risk. This is the trigger statement. And I want to be very clear that I am not saying they're going to rug you. But I'm saying that there's a risk that if something does go very badly for them and they do close business, you're stuck with tokens that are unminted on a platform that you may not be able, that might be closed and you can't mint off of. It's a non-zero chance, right?
So if they're useless tokens, then yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, remember, they're your tokens. They're yours.
They're not until you mint them.
Yeah.
Whether or not they go to Gala chain or not.
I agree. I was of the belief that the Gala tokens were yours, even in your treasure chest. But if they close up business, no, they're not your tokens. They've been their tokens. Anyway, on that note, bye. Thanks, guys.
So, Gala shouldn't be selling Gala in this kind of market. Good money. Okay, all right. So I will push back a little bit on this. I'll take on. I should have a hat. Faz used to wear a hat. I should be able to put the Faz hat on, and I'll be an apologist for a moment. Okay. Watching their finances more closely opens a big can of worms because they had a ginormous pile of money. Estimates put it between $1 and $2 billion, yes, with a B. And then they opened Gala Music, they opened Gala Film, they spent a lot of money. It was the bull run. They figured they were going to keep making money. They figured Gala Music and Gala Film were going to take off, and that was going to be an additional revenue stream, and it was a way to de-risk Gala Games because then they had 3 branches that were going to be earning money. If one wasn't doing so good, they could supplement back and forth. I wouldn't call it irresponsible. I wouldn't call it they need to manage their money better. What I would say is that they're risk takers, obviously, right? Because they're, even with games, they're taking huge risks. We've had a couple of failures in the system with Legends Reborn and Fuzzles and a couple. Not everything's going to win. I can't even fault them for that. Not every game is going to win. And even if a game does win, Glitch was good with this, CryptoView was good with this, there's only a certain amount of time that game is going to be viable. So at some point, whether it's a life cycle of a year or 2 years or 3 years, at some point, even a successful game is going to go by the wayside. So they're spending their money on things that they're betting. They're betting that this is going to be successful. And as we know, we go into a casino, red and black, spin the roulette wheel, drop it in, you got a 50-50 chance of it hitting. I don't fault them for that. What I do call them out, though, on going too soon for a lot of that stuff and changing direction too soon. Oh, I got to post that link. So if you want to come argue with me here, you can come on the show and argue with me here. There, it's in the comments. If you want to come on with me, hit that. It'll pop up a little window in here. But I have to say, this is a gamble. This is a risk. They've taken some gambles. They haven't been horrible gambles, right? I mean, it's not like they were opening a theme park or something, right? In this economy, they open music, they open film. It takes a lot of money to do those things, but the reward on the other side is tremendous as well. I don't know, and that's Maverick. I made my disclaimer before that. I'm not talking about a rug. I was explicit about that. I don't know if they'll survive. We don't know if anybody's going to survive. I'm just trying to say there's a non-zero risk that could happen. Okay, that's all I want to point out. And if your tokens are locked up and unminted, and that gets shut down, you're never going to get those tokens off. That's all I wanted to put there. Or if they get angry with you, right? Or you go against their terms of service in some way, intentional or unintentional. You go against their terms of service, they shut your account. That's gone. Whatever you have locked up there is gone. So please do not say that. I don't want to sit here and have people say I'm calling it a rug. So Gala fan, I mentioned this just the other night, okay? And as an option, I've mentioned this on Faz Radio before. It is possible that they should think about that. They should step back out of blockchain gaming. They should go back, create some traditional gaming, just get it going, put some skins out, take a step back where they're maybe a little more comfortable, rethink how they want to do the quote Web3 or blockchain gaming, and try and come back in a year or two. That's something they could do. They have a partnership with Epic, right? They could partner with Epic, keep that partnership going, and do some traditional gaming just to raise some funds. And they can maybe step back in that blockchain gaming a little bit until they're on better footing. It's an idea, sure, why not? This is an interesting point as well. We've had a lot of discussions about this on Faz Radio over the years. People say, oh, well, if Gala decentralizes completely, they can walk away and the ecosystem will take over. Or if they fail, you can take that and anybody could pick it up and do. No one's going to do it. No one's going to use an existing project. They're going to do their own, and they're going to create their own token. That's where the money's made. No one's going to pick this up and use it. Now, what would be cool, and we've talked about this before, what would be cool is if you were able to fork off a different version of a game, right? So if it was completely decentralized, you have a game that's on a node ecosystem, a true node ecosystem without AWS or Azure or somebody, just shooting stuff out to the nodes to make it look like they're running that way. You could, if the games were on the node, you could fork that game and make a different version of it that other people could play your version. Maybe you put different buffs in it or anything like that. That's true decentralized Web3 gaming. That would be the ideal goal. I don't know if Gala wants to go there or not, but that would be the ultimate goal. Since there'll be so many other tokens aside from Gala now, we've lost a lot of value, right? It absolutely is. And we talked about this last week and 2 weeks ago also. We had Brink on the show, and when they switched over to the Gala only thing, and it's in their most recent roadmap, okay, that it was Gala only going forward. And he made the argument up, down, backwards, and forwards why the other way wasn't the right way with multiple coins. 6 months later, he flip-flops back over here. And I made this comment to Benefactor. I answered one of his and I replied with it. People want stability. They want consistency. They want to be able to see the future. That makes them comfortable. That makes them want to be part of the ecosystem and move forward. Even with hiccups and bumps in the road and mistakes and gaffes and everything else, that stability, consistency, and straightforward look. And you're going to tell me, Titan, Bitbender today just said he's putting out a roadmap. And it's going to be a 5-year plan. I read that. They have a roadmap that they started at the beginning of this year. At the end of the first quarter, we did an end of Q1. They didn't hit any of their goals. We've passed the end of Q2. They haven't hit the goals. What is a new roadmap going to do? I'll look at it, but I'm not so sure having that is going to be the greatest of ideas. So I'm going to be like Crypto Wendy O on her O show. Smash that like button, guys. We have concurrent viewers. Not enough likes. Get that like button smashed. I like that phrase. I love when she does that. She makes me laugh. Market manipulation. Wow, we could go down a really big rabbit hole with this. Could it be? Sure. It could be viewed as market manipulation, what they're doing. It could also not be market manipulation. It could just be them trying to do that. And they'll say, oh, well, the node owners voted for this. It wasn't us. They decided this. We told them we were going to be selling tokens, right? So I like I said, I don't think there's going to be a market for Gala. I don't think Gala token price is going to be affected by this. If it passes, I don't think so. We've got demology. Main problem with Gala in 3 years, they're changing their mind all the time when they want to go with the Gala project. Absolutely. This is what I just talked about with that consistency and stability. We need consistency and stability. That's what's going to keep people in the ecosystem. That's what's going to get people to try new games. That's what's going to make people comfortable here. That's what's going to make them want to spend money in the Gala ecosystem. When they change directions every 3 months or every 6 months, and now this is completely different, and earnings are on, no, earnings are off. Oh, nodes work. This game is on a node. That's not on a node. Well, we voted for this, and no, we changed our mind, and we're going to do it this way. Nobody wants to spend any money, because if you're going to spend that kind of money, you want to know what you're going to get for it. And nobody can trust what you're going to get for anything anymore. And for those of you who didn't watch Bitbender yesterday on his Ahead of the Game, he had on a media personality who covers Web3 gaming, and she asked what can be improved. And she did a real good job with her wordsmithing and not pointing the finger directly at Gala. But her comments on there were along the lines of, you know what? I'm not paying $1,000 for an NFT. $100 max, and that's for like a legendary. I would pay $100 for a legendary that I really liked. And you know what else I would do, she says? I wouldn't be buying these expensive NFTs on this higher end until I've played the game for 3 or 6 months and decided I like it. And that's what we've been saying for a very long time. These pre-sales of NFTs have got to stop. If you can't use that NFT in-game for a reward or a buff or whatever, if you can't use it the day that you buy it, it should not be being sold. Period. And that was just echoed by Brink's guest on Ahead of the Game yesterday. Thanks for hitting the likes, guy. Kidding, I hit it once. Yeah, you hit it twice, it turns it off, I think. Thanks, man. So, look, it sounds like a lot of Gala bashing. It's not, even though it sounds like it. We're all passionate about what we want and what we want to see in the ecosystem. We've said it on this show many, many times, okay? This is the year of show me. Show what you can do, Gala Games. You're not showing us anything. You're telling us, oh, here's what's coming. Oh, this is going to be great. Show us something. Not just a playtest. Playtests are cool, but show us something. Produce something. Put something out. We have spider tanks. I hear it's getting better. I don't play spider tanks, but I hear they've made some changes, and I know that the MOF is doing something great over on their ecosystem. They have a whole thing together. So go visit them if you're not part of that. They do all kinds of fun stuff. They're doing treasure hunts, and they send you through mazes to win prizes. It makes the gaming side fun. I wish that's more of what Gala would do, but they got the community to do it. So I did want to finish up today, because I'm not going to hold you too much longer here. We've been going an hour 20. I did want to talk about this influencer thing, this drama that popped up with Jake today. It was a dumpster fire is the best way to put it. So we heard only Jake's side of the story for a couple weeks now, and we finally saw a little bit from the Gala side. And when I first saw Brink posting on Twitter those full chat logs, I said, he's crazy. What the hell is he doing that for? And then I read them, and I understood it. And I'm kind of glad that they did that, right? Because one thing that we do here, and why I sent the link to join me on the podcast, is we want to give everybody a voice, right? We make, as Faz puts it, accusations and assertions. We want people to be able to defend themselves, right? Faz and I argue like crazy. We give each other an opportunity to defend each other's position. And when, like I said earlier, when we talk in the node discussion rooms, we all give each other a chance to defend our positions. We might not agree, but we're all there, right? And we can defend our positions. And that's why I harp so much on this Wright Thurston thing. He can be a jerk. He can be. There was talk of him being a scammer. There's talk of he's not a nice guy. He's whatever. Okay. The facts of the matter are clear. Regardless of any of that, he's a node owner. So he should be able to do whatever he wants with his nodes, and he should be able to do whatever he wants with his rewards. And if there's a problem with that, that's a founder's problem, meaning the founders of the company, and that's between him and Eric. Him and Eric can hash it out. If they want to do the Elon and Zuck thing and go to UFC 283 and duke it out in the cage, so be it. If they do it by text message or they do it by video conference, whatever, that's their fight for those 7,000 nodes and who's doing what with them. That's not our fight. That's not what the community is about, and we're being dragged into it. And that pisses me off. It's not our problem. It really isn't. It's their problem. They need to figure that out. So I really want to get that point across, that making it our problem isn't the solution. They need to work that out on their own. So Jake is the gamer. He ran On-Chain Gaming, and he was a big Gala supporter. We came to find out over time that he was on the Gala payroll. I don't know if he was on the payroll as like an employee or if he was a contractor. I saw the word in the text that was released. The invoice was paid, so I assume he was a contractor because he would send him an invoice. And over time, he was sponsored by Gala for videos. And they had a little bit of a falling out. He did a video after being warned a couple of times about price speculation on a token. After he'd been warned, he did it. They had some issues, and I understand why. You shouldn't be doing that, right? So they got to a point about a month and a half ago where they cut him loose and said, okay, we're done, Jake. We're not sponsoring you anymore. And Jake kind of had a little bit of a meltdown, and he started posting a lot of negative videos about Gala. And then most recently, he had some accounts that were shut off with Gala Games, where he was playing in the Materium, or playing in the Miranda's tests and won some Materium, and he couldn't get the Materium out because they closed his accounts. They accused him of multi-accounting, which is a violation of the terms of service, so they shut those accounts down. He can't get his Materium. And then some people in the community noticed a tweet by Classy, and Classy posted a screenshot boasting, "Hey, look, I've got 3 or 4 or 5 accounts in the top of Spider Tanks." And they pointed to that and said, hey, Brink, take a look at this. He's boasting about this over here. Why isn't his accounts being taken down? So it turned into a big drama. And then Jake posted a video for On-Chain Gaming. He posted a video about 8 or 9 hours ago, and he called out Gala Games for not taking care of him, paying attention to him, resolving his problem with his closed accounts, and posted screenshots of conversations that he had had. And so then our favorite Mr. Brink said, okay, you want to play that game? Here, we're going to release the entire chat that we had together. Not just the selective parts that make you look good, but the entire chat log. So that was an interesting read. If you haven't read it, go to go to On-Chain Gaming's Twitter, and you'll see the post, and you'll see Brink's response there. He probably posted it on his own as well. It's an interesting read because Jake for On-Chain Gaming wanted... All right, so we've always said, and I've always professed it especially, that when Gala does good things, we want to call that out, just like when they do bad things, okay? Or things we don't like, I should say, not bad things, but things we don't like. And I will throw a ton of love at Mr. Bitbender for a specific comment that was really brought to my attention inside of this, because in this chat, Jake had asked and said, look, just pay me $240,000 up front. That'll consider it payment for a year's worth of videos. You know I'm good for it. I'll make the videos and I'll make you look good. And that way I don't have to disclose like I'm sponsored. You're making me a final severance payment, is what he called it. And then that way, I'll just do those videos and I'll work the referral links that'll give me a chance to run up on these referral links. And we know that's like really unethical, right? He wasn't going to disclose that he was sponsored by Gala because he was considering the payment a severance payment, not future sponsorship. And he proposed that as a way to work it with Bitbender. And Bitbender, in his response, put something to the effect of, hey, listen, I can't look the community in the eye because that's not the right thing to do. That's basically saying that's cheating. That hit me hard, right? So as much crap as we give Bitbender for some of the stuff that he ends up being the voice of in this ecosystem, thumbs up, tons of love on that, because he protected the community with that, and he wasn't going to cheat and screw the community out of that. So that takes balls, that takes guts. Kudos for that. All right, that's something really cool, and the honor should be showed to him for that. For those of you who bump into him in chat, send him some love for that, because that's what we hope to see. We don't see those things, remember? And if he hadn't posted that, if Jake hadn't posted that video today, we would have never seen that conversation. And we would have never known that Bitbender had the community's back at that moment and wasn't going to cheat, wasn't going to do the unethical thing. And to know that that's there now, that's awesome. That really is awesome. So there's a lot of speculation about this crypto view. Some people say they've proven it. Other people say the proof that was shown was bullshit. I don't know. I never looked at it. I never really cared. I am hardcore if you're sponsored, you got to say it. And just like how Jake tried to get around it, there's none of this, hey, we're gonna call it this and then I'm gonna give you 10 videos. If you're sponsored for every single video that you mention that company's name in. Not just selected sponsored videos. You're being paid by a company. You need to disclose that on every single video where you mention that company's name. Whether you're compensated for that particular video or just in general. That's my opinion. I don't know how the FTC looks at it, but that's my opinion. That's the right thing to do. Transfer to multiple, breaking the rules. Okay, so Jake did make a good point. It was per exemplar, and they sold us and allowed us to get tons of exemplars. And multi-counting is subjective, apparently, because Classy did not get his accounts banned. So it depends on, unfortunately, if you're in the good graces of Gala. Or at least it would appear that way, right? Because I haven't seen any fallout from that. Classy hasn't come out and said, hey, I had my account shut down, right? So we can only assume based on what we see. So if you're in the good graces of Gala, apparently you can do that. I don't know. Ask Jason about that. Good point here. Time sensitive. You can't just leave it and finish later. Your town will crash, run out of gas, run out of money. You have to play it. That was a big tenet of the earnings part. You have to do something in order to earn it. Right. So playing the game, in order to earn a reward, you have to earn it by playing it. Right? I don't disagree with that in the least. Crypto View and Gala you trust. We talked about this last week, man. Decentralized is trustless and permissionless. You don't need to trust. If you do trust, that's fine, but you shouldn't need to. It should all be just doing what it does, regardless of what Gala does or doesn't do. The ecosystem should just run. That's true decentralization. I don't know if we'll ever get there with anybody, Gala or even somebody who starts 5 years from now. Who knows if they'll even be decentralized? You just don't know. We got to do it the best we can. What I do know is this node vote has nothing to do with decentralization. And I hope that by listening earlier when I went through that whole thing, that it was really long-winded. I'm sorry, Faz kept interrupting me. When I went through to get you to that point of why it's not decentralized, and again, there's nothing wrong with being centralized, okay? But I don't like it when people drop those phrases, decentralized and Web3, when you're not. You're not, and it's okay. Be centralized. Be centralized for everything. Then don't say decentralized. Don't tell me in a node vote that it's helping decentralize the system when it's not. It really isn't. So I want to hold them accountable for that, and I hope they hold themselves accountable for that. That's all I got for tonight. I had nobody want to join me. You're going to give me a complex, but I will throw it in Faz's face though. We were at 12 concurrent viewers when he left, and we were hitting up after he left. We spiked up over 20. So I'm going to claim that as a victory. Guys, you're wonderful, and I know we have some heated discussions in that node channel. I love it, and it's not personal. We all have our opinions, and I love that we have a forum to do that. I do want to commend Gala also for allowing a lot of contentious and potentially rubbing the cat's fur the wrong direction kind of comments. I saw what some people were posting. I'm like, ooh, he's going to get banned. That he shouldn't be saying that. And they've let the conversation flow. Even with some contentious statements and some real passion, I don't want to say anger, but we'll call it passion. I think that's important. I really do. I really think that that's important, that they're allowing those tough conversations to happen and tough questions being asked. And I hope that everybody learned something tonight and had some things cleared up, right? So there's videos out there. Dr. Wookie made a fantastic video. that explained a few things. Ed made a video that explained a few things. If you haven't viewed those, give those a view. I hope you listened earlier where we explained a few things here. There's fantastic resources. Anthony, R.A., you've seen him in the Discord. He has some fantastic modeling sheets. He is a data wizard, this guy, right? So if you have questions regarding different things and scenarios with how this is going to shake out, that's your guy. He'll tell you about it, and then he'll show you a spreadsheet that proves it, right? You have a lot of people who have been here for a very long time. If you're newer to Gala, look at the colors on the names, look at the roles that they have, and talk to the people who have been here a while, right? We might not agree on opinion, but we might have facts. I showed a lot of screenshots tonight, and when we talk about things, we try and show proof whenever possible. And when we're wrong, we'll admit we're wrong. And we just ask the same for Gala. We want them to have the same things that we have. We don't want penalties. At least what I feel. I don't want penalties. I don't want Gala to have penalties either. If I get a penalty, they should have one too. But I don't want penalties for anybody. So as we go through this next week, I hope version 3 of this node vote comes out with some fantastic additions like no penalties or issues. I'm sticking to my guns. If there's any restriction or penalty on minting or taking my tokens and do whatever with them, for me it's still an automatic no. And for a lot of you who feel the same way, stick with it. They're going to come back with a better vote. You vote your conscience. I'm not going to get mad at you if you vote yes. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm not going to ban you. You can still come on our show. You can still interact with us. Everybody's opinion counts. That's what governance is about. And ultimately, whatever happens, we all have to deal with it. And we'll all move forward and we'll all figure it out. The important part is that something go right. We need some wins here. We need them to show us what they're made of, what they're able to do. Let's see some results, tangible results, games that we can play that aren't tests. We want some utility for the token. Utility for the token. We've been over this like 3 times in this. I'm not going to rehash it now. Go back and listen. There is no utility for that Gala token. Nobody needs it for anything, so nobody's going to be buying it. Get some utility for that token. Oh, CryptoView says Gala Node came with a video today about the voting. Good. Check out Gala Node's video about the voting process as well. Educate yourself. Say no to penalties. Absolutely. And just so you know, the one guy called me out of there. He's like, how many nodes do you have, Mr. No? You know, I have 1. That's it. That's all I got. I am not a whale by any means. Gala has, I am very well in the green with Gala. There's no doubt about it. Okay, I got in early. Not as early as I should have, but I got in early. Okay, so I've done extremely well with Gala. But I only had 1 node. And it was the total cost, because back then you could only buy them in Gala. So I had to put money into the Gala tokens, and I bought it at 0002 or whatever it was, how many zeros before the 2. And I put like $1,500 or $1,700 in there, and I got, whatever, 300,000 tokens or whatever it was. And there was a big spike, the first big spike they had, where it went to like 2 cents or something like that. And the node price was tied to that, so the node price dropped. And I was like, oh shit, I can afford a node. And so I bought the node with that, and that's how I got my node. And I've been running it ever since. I run it here at home. I spun up Ubuntu, and I run it right from here, and so far so good. But everybody has a different story about getting into Gala. And I hope your story is one that makes you happy. I hope it's one that obviously gives you the games that you want to play. And I hope that you don't lose anything while you're in the system. I hope that it's a very positive experience in every way, shape, and form. So thank you guys very much for bearing with us for an hour and 40 minutes tonight. We'll be back next Friday, hopefully with some more awesome Gala news and probably some other stuff. Try not to get too worked up this week. Take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.